If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the rant, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Welcome, everyone, to the Full Gear review episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. I am your host and flying solo for the night, Floyd Johnson. As you know, some people might know me as FTR Express on the social medias, but Floyd Johnson Jr. and anywhere else that you'd see me. I'm flying solo tonight. Austin, who is busy working in the sports world, has had a busy week, and he wasn't going to be able to get on before the show. And we usually record on Thursday nights, but that's Thanksgiving. I am going to be in Dallas Cowboys game. He's going to be spending time with your family. So pretty much tonight was our last night to get it in. He was not able to record tonight, so I am going to fly solo just so I can get my thoughts out there. Make sure you are downloading this show on YouTube Music or Apple Podcasts. I also use Podcast Republic for my downloading. Please leave a rating and review. If you're so inclined, you can follow us at AT Elite Pod, at Social Suplex, at Austin Sumowitz, and at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. As a reminder, please check out the Social Suplex newsletter. The link will be in the show notes. Big news of the week is this is going to be the Full Gear review and Continental Classic preview. It's not technically going to be a numbered episode because Austin's not on it, so I'm just going to do this so we can get our thoughts. This will be the last Full Gear review on the Social Suplex. I think One Nation Radio's got theirs in. Trish and Sarah, I believe they recorded theirs. I imagine Tunnel Talk. I'm pretty sure Imp had his. I haven't listened to that show. But you heard everyone's thoughts on Full Gear. If you listen to all the Social Suplex shows, I'm hoping to give you my Floyd unique takes on the show, and I hope you enjoy them. Because it's just me, it's going to be a little quicker, and because there's a lot of big news, that's what I'm going to spend my most time focusing on. So, so when we're looking at the Full Gear, we're going to do the reverse order. That's not something we usually do, but it is popular, and it was huge news this week. So let's talk about Full Gear. Let's talk about the review. Let's talk about the preview. Let's talk about all that stuff. So, in the main, we're going in reverse order. If I get a little confused, like I said, I have to go in the order that shit comes. But this one, good Lord, we don't get a lot of these in AEW. We got the world title change. So when the match came out, I had been watching the rest of the show, and I'm like, everyone that had a special entrance won. So Samoa Joe just came out with his regular entrance, and then Hangman had the Red Dead Redemption 2 interest, or Redemption 1. I don't play that game, so I didn't know where the hell they came from. And he came out. First thing I noticed, and what I'm going to try to do is, this is going to be, except for the FTR part, which you should only expect you listen to the show, I'm going to stick free episode of the show. But I have fun, but, just going to review it straight. I know I have to say that because I do like to have fun about, hating Hangman and all that kind of stuff. That's just fun for me because he's so popular in the, so popular in the fan base. So I just like to take I like to be the contrarian sometimes. So in this particular case, I'm shooting straight with you. So it is Hangman versus Samoa Joe. Hangman came with special interest. Samoa Joe came out. The match, not really that memorable as far as the match. The biggest thing is Samoa Joe was busted open like 30 seconds, and he got hit with the boot. Basically, Hangman dog walking that ass. Then the bullshit comes, or as so many people call it. I call it just pro wrestling. I might be the only hardcore sicko wrestling nerd that does not care about interference in wrestling. As far as I'm concerned, interference is wrestling. It's like, it's a part of the story. It's a part of the trope. It's a part of the show. I've never seen an American company do shows without interference. So maybe if I, jumped into New Japan and All Japan or whatever, that might have worked. I don't think the way Americans are used to wrestling, that you could present a product that Americans will love without interference. I guess they can try, but that's not really how businesses work. What I mean by that is, when you're a challenger brand, I've heard this before with this term, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. We have Coke and Pepsi. It's like Pepsi was the new generation, blah blah blah, blah, but they're still soda, right? The different burger places and stuff, and it's like Burger King. It's like McDonald's makes their burgers this way. Burger King charbroils it, but they still have like the Big King, the extra value meals. They still have stuff that people recognize. So I think in professional wrestling, when you're doing an American-based professional wrestling, you still have to have stuff people recognize. And I'm not just talking about the ring, the big entrances, the chants, the interference, stuff that people have labeled WWE. But because WWE was the brand for so long, lifetime for most people that are watching this product, that you want watching this product, as in the 18 to 34 demographic, their lifetime has been WWE. Pro wrestling is WWE. So when they go pro wrestling, yes, you can be different from WWE. They don't want to be drastically different because they wouldn't even recognize it as pro wrestling. So I absolutely believe interference is necessity to the storytelling of pro wrestling as long as I've been alive. I grew up in the territory days. You'll find few people, I'm 44 years old, that has seen the vast majority of American pro wrestling that I have. Now, when you come to, Japanese, UK, all that kind of stuff, there are people out there that dog walk past. When it comes to American professional wrestling, I've been watching it since birth. I think I can count on two hands the amount of Raw episodes I have missed in my life. Just like flat out didn't see. So when I say I'm well versed in American professional wrestling, I feel confident it's true. So that being said, when I'm watching this match, and then they're in the cage, and Samoa Joe realizes he can't beat Hangman. And I am looking at this like this is the story of a TV show. A TV show about a fight. Samoa Joe's the bad guy. He has wrestled Hangman straight up. He didn't cheat, and he just lost. So Samoa Joe's towards the end of his career. He realizes, I can't hang with this guy anymore. But I have got a lot of experience. Maybe I can out devious him. So he has Shibata comes out. Oh, he knows Shibata's not going to work. Shibata tried to get in. He knew Shibata wasn't going to work. Then he has Will Hobbs come out. Will Hobbs has one job: open the door. So when Shibata comes out, and then Eddie Kingston came out and attack him, then Will Hobbs comes out, and he just tears the door open, and then he gets taken out by Hangman. Right? So it's like Hangman has this. Hook comes out, and you're like, oh God, Hook. Of course, he's got beef with Samoa Joe, so Hook can't be the issue. And then you see the jacket, and you see it, and as soon as it comes in, I was like, oh, Hook's on Samoa Joe's side. He picks up the belt, hits Hangman with it. Samoa Joe hits the Muscle Buster. 1, 2, 3. The villain wins. The villain, who knew he could not physically compete anymore with Hangman, brought in a secret weapon of Hook, and they pulled it off. And everybody's like, well, they've been fighting each other and all that stuff. I'm like, I understand everybody wants to treat wrestling like it's this own separate entity. It's not. Wrestling is a TV show. This is a weekly TV show that has 9 big TV shows that they really want you to focus on. It is a TV show. This is the TV villain doing the TV thing against your TV hero and him losing. Right? Like, people talk about the real stuff. Samoa Joe's this old. Hangman's young. Like, yes, that is all supposed to piss you off. Samoa Joe winning is supposed to piss you off. And you're like, well, I don't like that Hook and Samoa Joe's fighting each other and all that stuff. Have you never seen a TV show? A lot of times the villain will have a guy, and the guy is, fighting against him, trying to catch him. I just saw the movie Catch Me If You Can. Not Catch Me If You Can. I am saying the wrong movie. Now You See Me. I don't know why I mixed those two. Now You See Me. I just watched the first one where Mark Ruffalo is trying to chase them the whole movie, and you never catch it. He flat out has a fight with one of the guys. He can never catch him, right? So that's what Hook did. He fought Samoa Joe. He sold it. They're a fight team, obviously. They train together. They hit each other all the time, if you're thinking like that. So they fight. And then Samoa Joe, after losing to Hangman, gets not only himself in the number 1 contender spot, Hook, his enemy, in the number 1 contender spot. And then Hook taps out and lets Joe sneak into the number 1 contender spot and gets the win. If you look at this, all they have done is created a spicy Death Riders. Former AEW champ. Former AEW champ's not confident that he can beat the current champ. And, turns on the winner of All In. Jon Moxley turned on Bryan Danielson. Samoa Joe turned on Hangman. Jon Moxley tricked Darby into putting up his number 1 contender spot and then beat him. Samoa Joe finagled himself into a fatal 4-way to get the number 1 contender spot. Moxley has a powerhouse right-hand man in Claudio. Samoa Joe has a powerhouse right-hand man in Powerhouse Hobbs. Jon Moxley has a respected international wrestler in Pac. Samoa Joe has a respected international wrestler in Katsuyori Shibata. Jon Moxley has Hook. Jon Moxley has Wheeler Yuta, the person that turns on Bryan Danielson to help him win the title. Samoa Joe then has Hook, who turns on Hangman to help him win the title. All Samoa Joe's missing is a kick-ass woman. This is just Death Riders again. To the T. I call it spicy Death Riders. The ops are just spicy Death Riders now. There's nothing wrong with it. It works as a storyline. This heel that can't hang anymore, bad guy that can't hang anymore, surrounds himself with people that are going to protect his interests. Your new champion, Samoa Joe. And I've seen a lot of people upset about it. And honestly, I just say good. Good that you're upset about it. You should be upset about it. That's wrestling. I know you felt Hangman was the guy. And I had a misconception. You've probably heard me angrily. Hangman shouldn't beat Mox, blah, blah, blah. You heard me angrily say that. And I meant it at the time. That wasn't shtick. I meant that as, I didn't think it was time to beat Moxley yet. But my thought process was this. I thought the guy who ever beat Mox was going to be the guy, was going to get a long run, was going to run through the company and make big waves and be the guy the company was behind. I didn't think Hangman was that guy, personally. Well, I was wrong. I went in with the wrong premise. They built a moment for All In. It wasn't about crowning the next guy. It was just a moment. And Hangman had his moment. And then he had his couple title matches with MJF and Kyle Fletcher. Then he had his match with Samoa Joe. Most people assumed that he was just going to run through Samoa Joe again. Nope. Didn't happen. So I have said I don't think Hangman's the guy. And whether you agree with it or not, that's how I feel. But I think this even proves Tony Khan doesn't think he's the guy. Because if you're doing business, selling shirts, making all this money, you don't make this move. Or I could be wrong there. And they're just trying to put on an interesting TV show. Unfortunately, unlike any other thing, AEW or wrestling puts on 52 new shows every week. If you count Collision, 104. It is hard to keep people interested for that many episodes a year. Most TV shows are 20 to 25 episodes. The really great ones tend to only be like 10 episodes. Like, like on HBO, whatever, they're like 10 episodes. And they're just 10 banger-ass episodes. The wrestling has to put on 50, it's usually around 95 to 104, just depending on how often they preempt or just put the shows together. But they're putting on that many shows, so they have to keep their product interesting. I personally thought Hangman as the world champion, and that thing was dull. They were felt like going to do the Challenger of the Month thing, not really my thing. And I came out of this, went into the show not caring about the main event picture in AEW, like at all. Kind of checked out on the AEW picture. Title picture. I came out excited about the picture. Because right now you have an aging Samoa Joe, kind of in the Chris Jericho role from the Inner Circle, who is doing everything to keep this title, keep his relevance, keep everything right now. He is solidifying his legacy, and by that he has surrounded himself by mostly, not necessarily young, but other people that are tough that can keep the title on, which are good. Jericho had Jake Hager again. Again, you look at it, Samoa Joe has Will Hobbs. That's how, it's the format's there. So now you have this. Samoa Joe knows he can't hang in a ring like that anymore against the top tier talent. Now you have him going up against Hangman Page. So, and now the returning Swerve Strickland. So I noticed that Hangman did not get a lot of reaction when he came out. I even said the crowd goes wild on one of my pictures, but I wasn't trying to get at anybody, so I just kind of said it in the group DM. Well, I heard, hey, the fans are tired. Oh, they're so sleepy. Because it was a long fucking show, and they need to do something about it. They need to start it an hour earlier, or, try to get out right at, to me, 3 hours. 4-hour show, hour pre-show, 3-hour show. That's the sweet spot to keep an engaged, energetic crowd. Once you go into an hour pre-show, then a 4-hour show, you're talking about 5 hours. Around that 5th hour, people are going to tap out. I do think the last two matches suffered as far as crowd participation and crowd excitement because they were tired. And I honestly don't think it's fair to to the people in those last two matches. Maybe shorten the other matches. I don't know what you have to do. Build up the Dynamite before the pay-per-view and the Dynamite after pay-per-view as big shows so you can put some of the matches on Dynamite, some of the matches on there, or put some of the matches on Collision. I don't know what to tell you, but you need to shorten your show for the excitement of your live crowd because the live crowd affects how people watching take the showing. Mercedes and Chris Statlander, it was quiet in. I'm not even reviewing the match yet, but it was. And then this match, Hangman came out to nothing. So I was told the crowd was tired. I get it. Match is over. Samoa Joe's in the ring, has the belt. Hangman's all beat up. They got the crew in there. He has the Ops group, Ops Dojo. And then the lights go out. And this new song hits. But on the screen, you see Swerve Strickland. This World's Most Dangerous. And apparently has Ray Kwan in it. The Swerve. And it's a banger. And Montezzi. And it's a banger. But again, I'll say this. Did it hit me initially? No. But I am going to give it time. Because one thing I do trust in this company is Swerve's vision of his presentation. I feel like it's been hit. So I'm going to wait. I mean, personally, I want to swerve when I drive. I want to dance. I want to do the crowd participation thing. But we'll see if that gets there. So Swerve comes out looking jacked. Hangman's down. Samoa Joe's like, dude, hey, y'all still got issues? Have at it. Swerve then, fights all the people out until he gets to the last guy. The last guy, Hangman gets him. Swerve then does kicks to this dude that looks like Shane Gillis. Knocks him out. And he's standing in the ring. And the crowd was going crazy. So I asked this. And y'all can think about it if you want to, how you want to. Said the crowd was tired. Swerve showed up. They didn't seem tired to me. Oh, it was because of new music. Swerve debuted new music. Still popped to him. I said something in our chat, and, I was saying it for the giggles on Discord, but it's true. Everybody thinks they're the guy until a real guy walks in the door. Swerve, man, that visual of him standing next to Hangman, him looking literally 50, 60 pounds heavier than Hangman, 3 inches taller. One looks like a star, and one looks like a regular guy. Fight me. This is not shtick. This is my eyes. One looks like he's the face of your company. And the guy looks like he's a mid-carder. Use your fucking eyes. But again, that's just my opinion. Again, I got a little bit of that WWE brain rot, so bigger's better. Physically is better. Muscles are better. I know. No, I'll admit it. But, again, I'm 44. Been watching wrestling, WWE, pretty much that entire time. So to say it hasn't influenced my taste would be fucking insane. But Samoa Joe wins the match. A lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are sad. But if you look at who your booker is your vision. He is going to present professional wrestling in the way. Tell me the super long face title reigns in AEW. Shit, I was thinking like it might be Hangman with the Hangman or Mox with the longest title reigns. AEW World Title, longest reign. So I'm looking at it right now, like the most days. Because I remember John Moxley won it in February. And I think he lost it in December. So the longest reign is MJF, who started the reign as a heel, ended it as a face at 406 days. John Moxley, heel, 273 days. Jon Moxley faced 277 days. So when we look at it, the longest face all the way through title reign, Jon Moxley 277 days. It wasn't even a year. You've had Kenny Omega as a heel longer, and MJF as a heel longer. Like Hangman Page, 134th is this one. Swerve, Brian Danielson, 48. Swerve Strickland, 126. One thing, Jon Moxley had a 59-day title reign. Jon Moxley had an 11-day title reign. What that's being said is, if your idea is that a good guy is going to win the title and hold it like a year plus, that's not how TK does it. Or, excuse me, let me make sure this is clear. It's not how he's done it. He may change, but that's not what he does. So if you're like, oh man, I'm waiting for my guy to win and he'll be a good guy and he'll win for a year, not really how it's done. And if you go back in the days of Sting and Dusty Rhodes and Lex Luger and all those people, not ever how it was done. It's just not done like that. I mean, you can, I guess. And if they change it, that's great. But I'm just talking about the history of it. It's not really done like that. The thing is, the good guy chases the bad guy. That's how this has been done. This is how this TV show has worked forever. And in wrestling, again, your fans like familiar. Your fans like to say, Joe's going to win. And then Joe wins, and they're like, I told you. It's right. But wrestling to me is when it's best when what happens on Saturday happens. Where I have no fucking clue that the title was going to change hands. And I actually have a visceral and emotional reaction to what happened. I was shocked. If Hangman won that match and Swerve came out, just this part that I'm talking about probably lasts 5 minutes. Like Hangman won. Swerve showed up. Ooh, crowd popped. We might be getting Swerve versus Hangman. Now, we got Samoa Joe. We got Swerve and Hangman with this uneasy alliance. They're kind of cool. They're not friends, but they're not just on site anymore. So now, Hangman's going to want the title. Swerve's going to want the title. Swerve already had Hangman win the title once. He was generous. Is he going to be generous enough to try to let Hangman win it twice? Probably not. Swerve's already beat Samoa Joe as the world champion. Hangman's beat Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's beat Hangman. So, like, my mind goes triple threat eventually, but who knows? There are some other people heating up in the company that could go after Samoa Joe. The world title picture is more interesting with Samoa Joe as the world champion than Hangman, in my humble opinion. I am not right. I am not wrong. This is a preference that I have. If you don't see the same preference, I completely understand. I'm not mad at you. You're not wrong. You're allowed to feel how you feel. But just remember, pro wrestling is best when you feel. And right now, you feel something. If Hangman won, you wouldn't have felt anything. He just won a match he was supposed to win. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, maybe you're completely different. And dude, you had your beer or whatever, your drink of choice sitting aside there waiting for Hangman to win so you could pour it over your head like your team just won the Super Bowl. Maybe that was you. Again, now you feel something. So maybe I'm wrong. But I know when I was in a hotel in Kansas City getting ready to go to the Chiefs game the next day with my friend Chris, we were sitting there eating our barbecue and watching the show. And we were largely checked out of certain parts of the show. When Samoa Joe got that 3, oh my God, our jaws dropped. We talked about it for an hour after the show. We're both fucking dead tired. We still talk about an hour of the show. I am pumped. My heart is beating hard. Because something in wrestling, like this monumental shift that, again, I listen to a lot of podcasts. especially last week I've been doing delivery, so I have a lot of time to listen. Not one person predicted Samoa Joe to win. Not one person. God, that's how I love my wrestling. Now, I don't want to shock every week. I don't. I don't want to shock for shock stakes. I'm not asking for Vince Russo booking. But one really, really, really good shock can change wrestling. When is the last time in AEW you had a truly shocking title change? It's been too long. So let's go. Samoa Joe wins. Now, I've spent as much time as I'm going to spend. I'm not going to spend that much time on any other match. That was fun. Next match we had, match 4, Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. I rewatched this match last night. I really enjoyed it on the rewatch after I got some sleep and got to watch it with fresh eyes. I had to ignore the crowd because, again, this was a crowd at the end of a very long night. And I imagine they wanted to cheer for Chris Statlander. I imagine they wanted to cheer for Mercedes, but they largely checked out of this match. They kind of got him back in the last 10 minutes. And then Chris Statlander hits Saturday Night Fever and gets the 1, 2, 3. Mercedes Moné 0-2 in AEW World Title matches, even though she still has her 112 belts. Chris Statlander finally gets over the hump of beating Mercedes Moné. I will say this about it. Even when watching, I didn't like the ending. Thought it was anticlimactic. I mean, when you're beating somebody for the first time, I know it should be definitive, but I just think it could be more exciting. I don't think, and this is not a shot at her, I don't know if Chris Statlander has the ability to show the fire in her offense or anything that somebody that is in the good guy role should show. I never felt like she was firing up. I never felt like she was trying to get the crowd into it. She just kind of won. And maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I watched it twice. The one time, a lot less, not less paying attention. That's why I run it back. I don't watch a lot of wrestling more than once. I just felt like that fire wasn't there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm seeing something and you're seeing. I just don't see that babyface fire that you need to really get someone behind you and to really, really like, oh my gosh, she had her. And I just don't feel like we had those moments in the match. It was a great match. It was a great match. It's just, like I said, long term, her as a babyface champion, I would like to see more fire. I'm not talking about the yeah, baby, just like, hey, I was trying, now I'm trying harder. All right. The match before that, the $1 million trios match, Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks defeated Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. Yeah. So I liked this match. Thought this match was a solid trios match. I felt like this was a dynamite trios match. Like it, it's on a pay-per-view, and you tell me those 6 people are in the match. I'm thinking absolute blow-away match. Throw all the stars away. This match is going to be a banger. This match is going to steal the show. This is going to be the match of the night. I thought it was a good match. So in that way, I was kind of disappointed. But they get the pin. And then after the match, the Young Bucks are walking away with their money. The Don Callis family starts beating up on Kenny. The Young Bucks throw the money at Don. And then go out and take everybody out and say, Kenny Omega, who was beat up, jumps up, pushes them away because, like, hey, I just got my ass kicked. It's, like, largely your fault. And then they have their moment. And then the Young Bucks shake Jurassic Express's hands. And then they all hug. So the super elite, I don't even know if the Jurassic Express are in the elite, but I'm going to call them the super elite, back together again. The 3 of the founding fathers back together again. Let's fucking go. I thought it was a very, very full good moment. Thought the crowd got into it. It was great. Again, the match was really good. Unfortunately, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express and Josh Alexander have set the bar of performances so high that really good is almost a disappointment. And as much as you might not want to think it, that's actually very much a compliment to all of the people in that ring. I just kind of expected more. All right, the match before, we had no DQ TNT Championship match. Mark Briscoe defeats Kyle Fletcher for the new TNT Championship. If it wasn't for another match that you're probably going to know, this would probably be my match of the night. I just thought it tapped into the emotion of the Briscoe coming out. Already got totally my heartstrings. I was like, oh, Briscoe's winning this match. Then their matches, they have this amazing chemistry. Super violent. One day they will be doing this match for the AEW World Title, not necessarily no holds barred, but the false finishes, the table spots, Mark hitting the Froggy Bow, then hitting the J Driller to get the 1, 2, 3. And yeah, this was amazing. I thought this was probably, like I said, to me, my second favorite match of the night. And congratulations to Mark Briscoe, TNT Championship. Yeah, I just thought it was a great emotional moment. He is the Mick Foley of AEW, as in the person that you just feel attached to, that you want to see do well, that you want to see go. I'm not talking about work rate, anything like that. I'm just talking about that guy. He's the teddy bear of the promotion. You don't want anything ever bad to happen to Mark Briscoe. You want to protect Mark Briscoe with your feelings, your heart, and your soul. So yeah, that's what I mean by that whole Mick Foley reference. So yeah, Mark Briscoe gets the win. Bang. All right. Then no holds bar match. Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley. This match might end up being a match that changes wrestling for me, because I watched this match. I watched it with my friend Chris Raines. What up, Chris? And we felt nothing. Maybe it was because, I don't know, it seemed like every Mox match he's had over the last 4 months was submission moves. That's what it felt like to me. And again, I am admitting I am the outlier in this situation. I've seen 5 stars. I've seen this is exactly what I want around for my pro wrestling. I love Kyle O'Reilly. Jon Moxley did an amazing job of putting him over. Mox might win Wrestler of the Year. When you are that far outside of the normal thinking, when I am that separated from a whole fan base on a guy, I am going to do something weird. I'm going to look inside of me. Now, I understand, to me, Kyle O'Reilly's look does a lot of damage to me. But generally, if you're a good enough performer, I can ignore it, like Darby Allin. I can ignore it, like Brian Daniels. Him, he invokes no emotion for me. It's not hate. I do not hate Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly seems like a great guy. I'm talking about the character or whatever. He seems like he's going to stick with his friend. He just likes to conglomerate and hang. I like Kyle O'Reilly. I love Kyle O'Reilly's vibe. But once the match starts, I need smelling salts. He puts me to sleep. So, in this match, Kyle O'Reilly, Jon Moxley, bloody, violent porks match. In the end, Kyle O'Reilly wraps the chain around Moxley's ankle, gets him to tap out. After the match, they're checking on Kyle O'Reilly because he got hurt in the Mox. Mox got pissed off. He attacks him and then, walks off with the Death Riders, who look disappointed. And then, of course, a conglomeration come out to check on it. Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly gets the big win over Mox. I felt nothing. So I say that to just say I am going to try to watch Kyle O'Reilly with fresh eyes. So I went to Cage Match, which, again, I know it's not a perfect tool, but I use it to give a guide on what certain people like. And I got his 10 highest rated matches and then a match James Boyd recommended in a fatal 4-way match. And I'm going to watch them. Watch one a day because I don't want to burn myself out. And I'm going to reevaluate and try to re-educate myself on Kyle O'Reilly. Because I love Roddy Strong as a singles wrestler. I love the Messiah of the Backbreaker. Dude, give me Roddy Strong all day. You tell me a Roddy Strong match is coming on, I'm excited. Kyle O'Reilly, there is a vast disconnect. And I'm going to try to correct that. Because I'm not going to try to make myself a fan. If I watch the 10 matches with fresh eyes, full attention, and I come away that I don't like it, that's what it is. And I'll probably never, if I never bring it up again, it's because I didn't like it. And it's just going to be, he's just a person and his presentation that I don't get, which, I think I'm allowed to have. But I am going to give him not even a fair shot because I don't watch old wrestling. This is more than a fair shot. I am trying to close the gap between me and the rest of this fan base when it comes to Kyle O'Reilly. Then we get the Full Gear Casino Gauntlet match. Let me sum up this match. I was right. If you listen to this show, the F300th episode of the show, I say Ricochet's going to win. He's the guy you want holding this belt. He came out third. Gates of Agony attacked Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. There's a lot of great action in this match. Again, there have been 3 or 4 other reviews of this show on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. I, of course, want you to come to us, All Things Elite. So I have every bit of confidence in One Nation Radio. I have every bit of confidence in Tunnel Talk. I have every bit of confidence in Trish and Sarah. I got every bit of confidence in Imp to give you a full breakdown of everything that happened in this match because I'm not going to go through. I don't have Austin here to go through everybody that came in. I'm just going to say Ricochet won. That was the right call, even though I'm not saying that because I predicted it. I'm just saying the point of the title is to take it around. And to me, when you have this traveling, it's kind of better to have a shitty heel because he's not going to allow himself to win. So you can always make the guy at the other company look really good because Ricochet had to cheat to win. So there's a give and take when it comes to a traveling title belt like that. All right. And then the match before is probably, shockingly, my match of the night. And now it's time for the main event. Well, it's Floyd's main event. We're looking at, for the AEW Tag Team Championships, we have Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, FTR, wrestling against your current, the current at the time, AEW Tag Team Champions, Brody King and Bandito. This easily was my match of the night. Personal reasons, of course, because I am an FTR fan. Also because I knew when these 4 got into a match, they would put on what I felt was a match of the year. Brodito grew on me. I still hold my position that I don't really like temporary tag teams. And it's so funny. I want to bring this up. So I talked about Hangman earlier, and I bring it up. Heels and, faces, the chaser is the category. And people always say, it doesn't always have to be that way. That's cool. Okay, it doesn't always have to be that way. But when I bring up tag team wrestling and I say, hey, I want established tag teams. I want to be the tag team champions. I want you to work as hard as a person has to work to become a singles champion. I don't want 2 people to just get together, wrestle a few times, and then become tag team champions. I want you to treat it like it's important, like it matters to become tag team champions, like the tag team champions is something to covet. And you know what they say? Well, it's always been that way. And they'll name all these temporary tag teams like, Kenny Omega, Hangman, and all the stuff that were great. And I'll be like, well, it doesn't have to be that way. But when the Hangman thing comes around, it's like, well, it should change. But my tag team thing, because they don't care, it's always been that way. It's just one of those things. If you're hearing arguments, if you're arguing or discussions, if you're part of wrestling discussions ever, you're gonna run into that stuff. When someone cares about something, then yes, it's a very big deal. It's you can change it, but when they don't care, it's like, it's always been that way. Screw it, you're just whining. So I just thought that was funny thought process that went through my head. That being said, if you want the best discussion in wrestling, you want the most variety of discussion in wrestling, make sure you're on Discord under the Social Suplex Podcast Network Discord. And I do want to clarify, if you are in a pro wrestling Discord, you are a nerd. I just want to let you know that we're all nerds. You're not a better nerd. You're not a cooler nerd. We're all nerds. Just want to throw that out there. Just ran into that conversation that made me laugh. But on to this match. It was everything I wanted it to be. Of course, it's Dax and Cash. Of course, they're going to try to get rid of Brodito and work on Bandito. And in essence, without going into the details of this match, hopefully one day me and Sam can do this on the AEW Match Guy podcast when you really want to break it down. But in this case, there was this seminal moment where Brody was about to dive outside the ring, and the change happened, and Stokely pushed Dax out the way and took the hit. And then after that, it was FTR trying to get rid of Brody, and then they got Bandito. Dude, AEW is doing a very, very great job of making Bandito. I don't know what the ultimate goal is. Is he going to be AEW World Champion? What's he going to be? But this match, he took a belt shot. He took a spike pile drive. He took a shatter machine where they broke up the pin. Then he took a powerplex. And then finally, after all of that, shatter machine. Like I said, how every match is going to end. Shatter machine. 1, 2, 3. You're winners. And 3-time, on the second ever, 3-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. 11-time World Tag Team Champions over 7 different promotions. 1A or 1B, depending on who you're voting, on the best tag teams of this generation. FTR. Dude, it's so funny. Everybody's saying this year's been amazing. And it was funny when they were doing their run as good guys. And, I love my team and I support them and I'm always there for them. But I was like, dude, they are going to be best for this company. And if you listen to the show, I said it. They're going to be best of the show when they are playing the roles that they are naturally good at. FTR's best roles are as bad guys. That's who they are. Guys that only care about winning, only care about their legacy. There ain't no talk about the wife and the daughter, which, again, some people got sick of. There's no talk of, like trying to, the fans having our backs and all that kind of stuff. No, screw that. They're there to win. They have their own back. They don't need anyone but them because they are the greatest tag team of all fucking time, according to Dex. And they did this great. Whenever a team beats them, which, probably won't ever happen. They're probably going to retire these titles. Let's be real. The roof's going to blow off the world because people are going to hate them so much. And I tell people when you come to wrestling and this stuff, and I was talking about the TV show, you need a team like this in your tag team division. You need a team that is when Jet Speed finally gets it together and they have that perfect night and they're just better in every way than FTR. And they get the 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. It's going to make them. Or if it's the Guns, or if it's whatever tag team, Top Flight, or whatever tag team it is, it's going to matter. they've already set up where they could wrestle Austin Gunn and Juice soon because they had beat them on Collision. This is FTR in their strongest. This is one of their best years, if they're not their best year in AEW. And I have to say this is their best year in AEW because the year with the Briscoes and the 3 matches, most of those matches happened on ROH. It wasn't on, well, all 3 of the matches happened on ROH. It wasn't on AEW television. But if you're talking about the Tony Khan universe, it was that year was their best year. But if you're talking about like in AEW, purely AEW, what they've done, try helping teams gel and get better, what they did for the Outrunners, what they did for Jet Speed, now what they're doing for what they did for Brodito and Brodito. It's just put on a very entertaining show. The tag team belts feel like they mattered. Them and the Young Bucks without the belts in the background. And this is shout out to Ibu for pointing this out, even though I knew it was going on. They helped rebuild the tag team division. Brody King and Bandito were the tag team champions at that time that we needed. I would have loved for them to actually have a full-time babyface tag team that they could have put the belts on that could do this with FTR. But unfortunately, they didn't exist at the time. So Brodito was exactly the team that was needed for this period of time to do this. Now, with FTR as the champions, now it's time to get top flight hot. It is time to, after Jet Speed's done with what they're doing now, it's time to start getting them hot. It is time, the guns, when Colton gets better, it's time to start working on that. And it needs to start focusing on getting other teams, building other teams, making this tag team the strongest tag team division in the world, because at one time it was, and it wasn't close. Now it's starting to get there again. I feel like I forgot about Jurassic Express. You got them there, and whatever you want to do with that's going to be amazing. So, Shatter Machine 1, 2, 3, Bandito very much maybe the wrestler of the year. I know we're going to do our AEW awards. We always wait until the end of the year because of the C2. It generally doesn't end until the last show of the year. So I want to get all those matches in there in case there's a match of the year in there. So look forward to that. But Bandito's going to be on the list. Whether you vote for him or not is up to you. But as far as the singles wrestler, he's had a pretty amazing year. And but yeah, this was a great match. 7 stars, 5 stars, whatever the stars you want. I thought it was a perfect tag team match between that 4. And if they do it again, I think they'll even do it better the next time. All right, the match before, the women's 4-way match, 4-way, and the winner picks stipulation. Time was Love Bombs won. I honestly don't have a lot of thoughts on that match. I'm not, just trying to. It's just kind of was a match. It was on the pay-per-view. It could have not been on the pay-per-view, and it would have been a little shorter. I'm glad the ladies were on there. Happy for them. But, yeah, not a lot to talk about on that one. Pac defeated Darby Allin. Was supposed to be no weapons, no anything, just a straight match. They had a great match. Darby put Pac in a Scorpion Death lock at one point. I thought this was just a really good singles match. And then, of course, the interference came from the Death Riders by Dane Garcia, Claudio. All of them came out. Pac missed the Black Arrow from the top ropes. So Allen caught him in the Scorpion Deathlock. Wheeler Yuta appeared and distracted the referee. So Pac grabbed Allen's bat and blasted Allen with it behind the ref's back. That was enough to put Allen down for the 3. So Pac wins the match, and Mox loses the match. There was no turn on Mox tonight, but you could see the window, see the writing on the wall. And then now we're going to go to the pre-show. This pre-show started with AEW Tailgate Brawl, 4-way match. Nothing to write home about. Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn win the $200,000. Again, the tag team was heating up so they can go after FTR. That's what I think. Boom and Doom defeated RPG Vice. Again, I really have no thoughts on this match. Eddie Kingston and Hook beat JD Drake and Anthony Henry. I think it was like 2 minutes. And then the main event was the CMLL World Trios Championship match. El Sky Team defeat Don Callis Okada, Don Callis' team of Okada, Takeshi and Hechicero. Okada wasn't in the building. Takeshi and Hechicero started the match. Around the time that the pay-per-view was supposed to start, Okada shows up in his McLaren. Fireworks came in. Takeshi and Okada had miscommunication, which you expect. Mystico got Hechicero in the submission and got the match. So that was the latest review of the Full Gear, and that is from me. I thought it was an excellent show. For me, they had great matches. It had some surprises, and FTR won. That 3 things any AEW pay-per-view needs. So I thought this was super. I thought it was a really good one. There's a lot of Hurt fans out there, a lot of Hangman fans out there. I am sorry, but it's just like one of those things. It's like, I think, he's going to be there. And it's like, that's why I always say when it comes to wrestling, wins and losses, they're great. Of course, I go FTR won 3 in a row. But more importantly than that is your favorite wrestler being in stuff that matters. It's a TV show. You want them to be the star of the show. The best way to do that is to be in shit that matters. Hangman is in a compelling storyline. Are him and Swerve going to be able to keep this fragile piece that they have in order for one of them to go after Joe and go after the Ops to take the title away? We'll see. Is it going to end up with them in a match? Is it going to end up being a triple threat match? What about the MJF all of the stuff? He has the briefcase. Kyle O'Reilly beats Mox several times in a row. He has to be up there in the rankings. Is he going to go after Joe? This is the most compelling to me of the world title has been in a while, and I like it. I like what they have here. So I'm looking forward to how it plays out on Dynamite. All right, and as we move on, moving on. Let's see. Continental Classic was announced. They did the selection show on Monday night, hosted by Tony Schiavone. Rules are same as usual. 20-minute matches, 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. Everyone banned from ringside. Quickly, I'll go through it. The blue group is Takeshita, Mox, Claudio, OC, Roddy Strong, and Mascara Dorada. I'm excited to see Takeshita against all those people. I'm excited to see the Claudio OC match, Claudio Mox match, Roddy OC match, because Roddy, if you remember, Roddy is the one that beat OC for the international title. So that is, and they're kind of in the conglomeration. Roddy's not in it, but he's kind of in it. But yes, they have that. And then Mascara Dorada, CMLL representation. When he's on, he's amazing. When he's kind of off, he's not. Y'all know how that is. Claudio is one of the most consistent wrestlers in the world. Mox can literally put on an amazing match with anybody. So the blue group is kind of getting shit on right now because the gold group is fucking loaded. You got Okada, of course, Kyle Fletcher, Darby Allin, Pac, and then Kevin Knight and Speedball. So you got Jet Speed. So fucking loaded card. You're going to get Kyle Fletcher versus Darby, Kyle Fletcher versus Pac, Kyle Fletcher versus Okada, Kyle Fletcher versus Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball. I literally, if given the time, I could see all of Kyle Fletcher's matches at least being minimum 4 stars. Okada, if, of course the working boots are on. Pac, I don't know if he understands how to have a bad match. The gold is loaded, and the blue is what it is. It's going to be play out over the next few weeks. My predictions, and it's Takeshita and OC in the blue. And then I got Fletcher and Okada in the gold. Now, this is where I'm going to be a little different from somebody. I think Takesha's going to go undefeated, being IWGP champion. He can't eat a lot of losses. I think OC's only going to lose to. I think OC is only going to lose to Takesha because he had just had that loss to Claudio a while ago, so he'll avenge that loss. Mox, Roddy Strong. So OC will be the 2 slot in there. And then on the gold side, I got Fletcher winning it, and then Okada finishing second. So this would be at the pay-per-view. That would mean Takeshita would be wrestling Okada in the first semifinals, and then Fletcher versus OC in the second semifinals. I got Fletcher and Takeshita winning the finals of the thing, Fletcher versus Takeshita, and I have Fletcher beating Takeshita to be the new unified world champion. I have Kyle Fletcher, winning it all. As much as I played it out in my head yesterday, I was like, Takesha's going undefeated. Takesha's winning it. Takesha's taking all the belts to the Dome. I was like, you know what? I felt like it was too predictable. And I might be right. And it might end up being Takesha, and they might give him all the gold. But I don't think Fletcher was so hot in that TNT run. I honestly don't think he should have lost to Briscoe, but they told such a beautiful story. The only way you take that title off Fletcher is to elevate him to a more important title. So I am calling Kyle Fletcher as your winner of the C2 this year. Takeshita finished second, and then he comes back inspired to win it all next year. So we get in the first round, we get Takeshita versus Okada. That's the match everybody wants. And then we get Pro Kushida, the thing that we've been talking about all year. Pro Kushida wrestles each other for the winner of C2. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. That's what I'm looking forward to. This is banger. This is literally my favorite time of year. This is the third year it's here. It is my favorite time. When they announced that Takeshita and Okada were in separate brackets, I literally confirmed my hotel. I had already bought the flight. I talked to Chris Reigns. He says he's meeting me there. I will be at World's End. And you're like, Floyd, aren't you going to New Japan? Yes, because I'm an idiot. I'm doing both. Let's have fun. I can't get enough of Takeshi. I can't. He's just so good. Can't. But literally, I'm either getting Takeshi versus Fletcher or Takeshi versus Okada. And if you think in my power, knowing me, listening to this show, that I'm going to miss either one of those matches and I have the power to make it, yeah, you're insane. You're really not paying attention to the show. So that is my thoughts on the C2. It's going to be a banger. Again, let me talk about my disappointments. Brodito's not in it. I wanted both of them in it. Like I said, I'm really happy with the field, but Brodito not being in it, I assumed they were being in it because they were available. And then Kenny Omega. I need him in one of these. He's Kenny fucking Omega. He is the elite. This is the AEW's version of the G1. He was the first, non-American, non-Japanese person to win the G1. We need this. We need Kenny Omega in the C2. Maybe not this year. Maybe you give him a year to get healthy for next year. Maybe you give him a few months off before. But you need Kenny Omega in the C2. I am 100%. Next year, I need Ospreay and Omega in the C2. It's just, come on, let's go. Like, this should be loaded. Your best of your best. Your 12 best in your company. I have no problem with anybody in it. I'm not saying I would object something in it, but if I would have saw the list and they had Kenny Omega in it, yeah, there's not a name on this. I'd get rid of some names for Kenny Omega. So I know health, everything like that. I'm just hoping he can get healthy. Just do it once, not every year. Just do it once. Just imagine a Kenny Omega in that blue. Let's in this case replace Mascara and Dorada. You get Kenny Omega versus Takeshita, Kenny Omega versus Mox, Kenny Omega versus Claudia, Kenny Omega versus OC, Kenny Omega versus Roddy Strong. Oh my God. Can we get Kenny Omega in the show? Can we get Kenny Omega in? I know he might not be full form, full power Kenny Omega. He's still Kenny fucking Omega. Come on, let's be real. He's still Kenny Omega. But again, that's just a personal thing. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the list, but Kenny Omega makes it better. You know what I mean? It's like it's like I love pork chops, and I like pork chops just the way there is. But you give me a little Louisiana hot sauce, it makes those pork chops better. C2, love it the way it is. It's amazing. Kenny Omega would be a little hot sauce on there, make it just taste just a little bit better. So looking forward to how this plays out over the next few weeks. Be watching the shows. You will get weekly reports, even if I have to just record a weekly report on my own, but they'll be on the show. And we're looking forward to getting to see two other things. The matches that are on Dynamite is going to be one of the semifinal matches of the AEW Women's Tag Team match. It's going to be Babes of Wrath versus Sisters of Sin. Then the Continental Classic matches are going to be Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight, Moxley versus Dorada, and probably the main event of the show, if not as far as the last match of the show, it'll be Kyle Fletcher and Kazuchika Okada. I would love for them to start the show with that, but maybe it's the last match on the show. And then we got the Ops Championship celebration with Samoa Joe, and I know everybody's going to be so excited to watch a championship celebration. But yeah, that's your Dynamite preview. Because it is Thanksgiving week, our next show, and I'm fully expecting it to be a me and Austin show, will be a week from Thursday. I believe that's December 4th. So I'm looking forward to doing that show, getting Austin's thoughts on the first few matches of the C2. I thank you for all that hung with me today, me doing this show by myself. I mean, it's not how I'm natural. It's not natural for me. I am feeling better doing it by myself. I don't ever want to get used to it, but I do feel better. I got more of a rhythm on this, but it was, I do think we had a really great week of shows. A nice, shocking surprise with Samoa Joe. Ricochet, your new national title champion, and the belt is beautiful. The Undisputed title is available on AEW Shop. And if you buy the Undisputed belt, you can get any of the other belts for half price, which is crazy. So definitely look into that. Yeah, I think that's all I got for today. Let's see. I'm just checking my notes. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, just wanted to really just give the preview and discuss the participants. Hopefully next year, I say this every year, and I know they got to wait until after Full Gear. Maybe you do Full Gear a week earlier. I would love for the C2 announcement to happen maybe a couple weeks before, and maybe announce a couple of alternates just in case someone does get hurt. And so we can do a pick'em and we can do a bracket, and we can have special shows, because I think Sir Sam could give the C2 the Sir Sam treatment, and I think he could make it feel big and amazing, and we could get all the people on the social suplex giving their thoughts on who could win it and everything like that. It's the AEW's version of G1. I wanted to have the same gravitas as the New Japan version of the Great G1. I know the New Japan version of G1's been around forever, but AEW has a chance to present this as unique. And I said these are the same talking points as last year. I'm hoping someone out there in the void hears me talking and they make this as big a deal as we wanted to. Let's get some C2 shirts out on it, get some DraftKings on. To go a whole DraftKings section as you have to pick the winners, have the whole schedule out there. There's so many tie-ins you can do. You can have the C2 presented by DraftKings. Let's make this a big, amazing thing last year. I mean, I know it's important, but I always it can be bigger. It can be bigger. The things you do in wrestling, because again, it's the TV show. The things you do in wrestling only as big as you present them. The C2 is your most important tournament. Present it like it's the most important thing. The C2 and the Owen should be presented as these big, amazing things that happen once a year, and you can't miss it. And the people that are in it are desperate to win. because they know what it means and what it can do as far as launching their career. So I look forward to the C2 this year. I'm looking forward to Dynamite tonight. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. I get to spend time. I'm actually off on a holiday. I get to spend time with my wife. We get to go down to our family in Arlington. We're going to have some dinner. Have some food, and then we're going to go watch the Cowboys and the Chiefs play. The Cowboys being my wife's team, the Chiefs being my team. But this is her first game in Dallas, the new Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Because of WrestleMania, I've been in it quite a bit, but I am looking forward to hanging with her, and I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. As we leave, I will leave with the thing I'm most thankful for. And the thing I'm most thankful for is my people. And I talk about this all, and I drive it home, and I try not to be overly sentimental, but I am. The people in my life are the best people ever. I can literally call them and ask them for anything. They have my back. And, I'm thankful for that. And when I talk about the people, I'm talking about the Social Suplex. One of the best group of wrestling people on. The most vast opinions that you will ever see. Some of the smartest people that you will ever know. Like breaking down. It's like when I'm not gonna call out everybody like I do, but just amusing today is James Boyd when he gets in his Joshi mode and he's talking and he's throwing the names out there and all that stuff. And I don't even know who all those names, but you hear the passion in which he talks about it. You want to know who all these people are, And like everyone has that like that. If you listen to Keep It Strong Style and you hear about the passion that Josh talks about New Japan and Jeremy talks about New Japan and the community they've built over there. And you get on the Discord and everyone has the things they love. They have the things they hate and they're so passionate about it. And this is what I dreamed about growing up. Like I wasn't savvy enough on the internet to find these communities and AOL chat rooms and things like that. But I do have the community now and I am absolutely thankful for everybody I deal with. Any bullshit you hear from me, like, oh, I hate somebody, just know. Just me having fun. I love wrestling more than anything, but I'm never going to hate anybody over a wrestling opinion. I'm never going to dislike anyone over a wrestling opinion. I'm never going to fight anybody over a wrestling opinion. I want to hear all your opinions. I want to hear why you like the way stuff you do. I like I said, I'm going into the Kyle O'Reilly thing because I don't get him. But the people that I find are the smartest and most passionate people in the world love the guy. So obviously I'm missing something. And that's what I learned from being around people that don't necessarily 100% think the way I do. So I want you to take that through your whole life. Listen to people. The best people to listen to are the people that don't agree with you. But I'm going to get off my mini soapbox here and say to all my people, to my people that I know listen every week, Chris Reigns, Jason Robinson, Jackie Rodriguez, every week, my soldiers, every week, they're listening to me yawn. On Jackie knows half the shit I'm going to say because I say it to her in messages, but she still listens to the fucking show. And I can't be grateful to that. Jason knows probably what I'm going to say. Chris definitely knows. And they still listen every week. So shout out to my people. Everybody, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. If you have a family and that you're around, make sure you go in and you tell them you love them. Tell them you love them. If you got friends out there, tell them you love them. If you don't have any friends, message me. I'll be your friend for the day or whatever. But find a place to eat, have some good food, watch football, watch the parade, whatever you do. But I want you to have an amazing Thanksgiving. And if you want to just be alone and have a quiet Thanksgiving, do that too. Whatever you need, take the day, be who you want to be thankful. And with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it is home or work or school, always do your best to be elite.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.